Okay, so I'm back at Wigan KTM and I've got this beast. Now this is one of the KTMs that I've been desperate to have a go of, and today I'm getting the chance. So it's the 690 SMC. What do we think of it? I think this is an absolutely lovely looking machine. We'll have a look round it, usual way. I'll show you what I like. If we find anything I don't, I'll point that out as well. Let's just have a look. So there is our beautiful close-up. Now what I like about this bike, I'm a big fan of the 690 Enduro. I like that. It's very big off-road looking bike. This is essentially the same bike, but it's more road focused. They've got road wheels, road tyres, and it's a little bit shorter, so it helps me with my little legs. But it is nice, and it's all orange, classic KTM. All the way around. I do love the way the blue and the orange just works together. It's just a striking bike, this. So we've got some decent brakes, albeit only a single disc at the front. It is sporting some Brembos, so you know they're going to be good. And on the rear, it's just the one disc, but again, Brembos, so you know they are quality parts, and it's going to stop well. I know that before even jumping on it. Straight out the crate. Standard exhaust on there, and it is the big wide Euro 5 compliant one. I've not heard it. In fact, I can't hear anything at the minute because there's a forklift going back and forth. I'm expecting it to sound a bit beefy, this, like a lot of bikes of this type do. One thing that does concern me is the bench seat. Now, I've been on bikes with this similar setup. In fact, I've been on the twin bike of this, or one of the twin bikes. I've been on the Husqvarna 701. That bike I absolutely loved, so I'm expecting to love this. One thing I did find though is after a couple of hours of riding, this does start to hurt the old bottom. So we'll see how we get on today. I'm sure it'll be very similar because it is a very slim fitting seat, this. Buttons wise, for a KTM it's not got many, which is good I think, because it's less for me to remember. So you've just got the standard horn indicators, high low beam, and then on the right hand side you've just got your engine start, you've got your cut off switch as well. Very similar to the Husqvarna 701 I've been on. As far as the screen goes, it is just a little digital screen there that you've got your speedo on. No wind protection, but again, I think this bike just wouldn't suit one. It would look a bit silly, whereas in its current form, it just looks like it's going to be a bit feisty, this today. I like that. So the knuckle guards are actually decent as well. Now the plastic around your hands is a bit flimsy, but I'm not bothered about that. The good thing is you've got a metal frame here, so it's gonna protect your levers as well. I like that. And then you just got this bit of plastic. It's gonna just keep the wind off you while you're riding. Should help in the winter, keep your hands nice and warm anyway. The only thing left for me to do now is take this bike out, go for a test ride and see what it's like. What I really hope and what I want is for this to be as good as the Husqvarna 701. If it is, I'm going to be over the moon because I love that bike. The only thing was the seat, just after a while, just starts to hurt a little bit, but still loads of fun. So if it's anywhere near that, I'm in for a good day. Before I do go for a ride, just to let you know, I'll put the link in the description for KTM. These bikes, currently, you can go onto the website and you can configure them yourself. So if you want to know what these bikes look like with some added extras, so if you wanted different exhausts, if you wanted just different bits added, you can do that on the configurator. But it shows you what the bike looks like with those bits on as well, and it'll obviously give you a price for everything. So it's worth having a play. I'll probably do it later just to see how much it all costs if I spec a bike to my taste. Anyway, let's see what it's like on the test ride. Let's go. It is quite a tall bike. I'm on the balls of my feet, but you might be able to see I'm probably about an inch or two off getting my heels down, but it doesn't feel too tall that I feel a bit unsteady on it, so that's all right height wise. And just for reference, I'm 5'8". Let's start it up and you can hear it. it is quite a lot shorter than the Enduro. I know from personal experience, I sat on the Enduro and I was like a little kid. I was just, my feet were dangling, I couldn't touch the floor on it. It's just a really, really tall bike. This one is what I would say considerably lower, but it's still a tall bike, or it's tall if you're a shorty like me. See, as expected, it's quite narrow. There's not lots of sponge or foam or anything. It does feel quite hard, and we'll see how we get on. I'm just trying a little bit of slow manoeuvring, and do you know what, it's not actually that bad as you would expect, to be fair, because the bike itself, being the type that it is, it's quite a narrow bike, you know, with the engine and everything. It's got nice wide bars, so it's comfortable, but the bike itself feels quite light and quite easy to move around. That'll do, pig, that'll do. Okay, so a couple of arty-farty photos done. You know, you'll be thinking of the thumbnail as well. It's not just a ride review I've got to do. Bench seat underneath you. It does, it offers little to no support for the bum. But do you know what? That was exactly the same as the Husky 701 that I went on. And that bike is without doubt one of the most fun bikes I've ever been on. And I know loads of people tour on them, I know that. And they have clearly got some kind of iron arse going on, because I couldn't. Loads of fun for a few hours, but I couldn't spend 8-9 hours a day riding on one. No, I don't think I'd be able to sit down again, or I'd have to use a rubber ring or something to sit down on. So wet today. It had promise early doors. I thought it was going to be nice, or not nice, but I thought it was going to be dry, but it's a little bit on the damp side. Now it has got a nice little growl to the exhaust. Oh, it's just like the Husky. When you wind it on, you know it's got enough power to have a lot of fun with. You filthy animal, you. Oh my. Yeah, do you know what? This is nice. It's wet today, so I'm not able to experience it to its full capabilities. However, even though the floor's wet, this is still moving really nicely. I feel like there's loads and loads of grip. I've got loads of confidence with it, and I like it. Some bikes you don't get confidence with when you first get on, especially in the wet. You can feel a bit nervous with them. Instant confidence in riding it in the wet, and I like that, because I'm not a massive fan of riding in the wet. It's not the greatest time to ride, as any biker knows. It can make the floor very slippy, and depending on your bike, your tyres, you can kind of get into a lot of trouble that you wouldn't do if you was on dry floor. But that's what I like about this. It's coping really well with the wet. Pulls really well. Proper wheelie machine. I obviously won't be doing any of that today because I'm on normal road. Thank you very much. That's my health and safety speech done. But genuinely, I won't. It's not my bike, and if it's not my bike, I'm not going to ride it like an absolute turnip. I will, however, test its capabilities out. And I've got to say, for a road bike, just going around the town, it's a nice little thing, this. It's quite a slim bike, it's light, you can zip in and out of traffic because you do get the confidence from how light the bike feels, but also how nice and planted it is on the floor. You do get the confidence in those tyres as well. I really like that. But this bike, as soon as you get a nice little bit straight in front of you and you wind it on, this bike goes like stink. It does. It's another bike from KTM it surprised me, and that's 2 on the bounce now, with the 790 Adventure and the 690 SMC. I don't know if I'm going to be a KTM convert. I've gone from not really thinking much of them to actually being pleasantly surprised. Oh, yeah, certainly no issues on performance. And comfort, where I was quite skeptical and probably quite critical of the seat. I think initially when you sit down on this seat, you do notice a difference between the bench seat and what I would say like a normal touring type motorbike seat. They are very thin as far as the padding go, and they're not very wide, so you do notice a difference with the comfort. However, after riding it for a little bit today, I'm not actually as sore as I thought I was going to be. So again, it has shocked me a little bit, which is good. It's another good, pleasant surprise. Yeah, and that was just a little test. I kept it in a higher gear then, just to see if we could still pull. And it still pulls, albeit a little bit shaky. It still pulls, and that for me is another good sign, because again, I like to know what a bike's going to do. I like to know how a bike's going to perform if you do happen to be in the wrong gear, because a lot of learner riders might get caught in the wrong gear, whether it be from a stop, or they might be in top gear, lower your speed somewhat, and then forget to change gear. So, and it happens, it's happened to us all at some point, I'm sure, but I like to test that kind of stuff so I can see what it's going to do and if the bike is going to let you get away with it. And this does. I was in 5th gear, I took the speed right down to about 25 mile an hour. I give it a little bit of throttle. It was a little bit jerky, but ultimately it carried on and picked the speed up, and if you did do that by mistake, it's not going to punish you too much, so I do like that. Now the throttle, again, KTM, like the last one I was on, it's quite snatchy in that you only need to touch it slightly and you notice the revs go straight up. So you can't be overly happy with the revs, you can't be giving it all that. If you do, you will end up on the floor and your bike will be going down the street without you. So you've just got to be nice and gentle with the throttle until you get a feel for the bike itself. Then you can give it a little bit more and it won't punish you that way. I've had this bike for a while today, and yeah, I've got to say I'm not sore. However, I know if I was to do all day in the saddle, I'd probably struggle, because you can feel the seat being quite hard and it does kind of pinch a little bit with that. So you've just got to bear that in mind. If you're looking at a bike to take on long distance tours or to be out on from morning till night, then if you're looking at something like this, your arse has to be like stone, because mine isn't, and I am starting to feel it a little bit now. As a second bike, something to just have a whale of a time on for half a day or something, yeah, I'd absolutely recommend this bike 100%, because it's a lot of fun. But as a tourer, nah. No, I mean, I would be very interested to know if you've got one of these bikes and you've done some serious long distance on it. Let me know in the comment the amount of smiles that it puts on your face while you ride it. Every time I twist the throttle on this thing, I just start grinning ear to ear, or I start giggling, and that for me is a brilliant sign of exceptional bike for me, because you know, it's what I've got bikes for. If I want something boring to go to work on, I go in the car. You know, if I want something to have fun on and have a laugh and a giggle and a smile, I go on the bike. And if I'm on my days off, I don't just go for a random drive, but I will go for a random ride because it's fun. And this has got the fun factor, and it's got loads of it. I'm going to take this bike back now to Wigan KTM. I think if you're looking for it online, it also comes under Wigan Motorcycles. I will put a link in the description anyway, so if you are looking for a KTM and you are living in the northwest, I'd definitely recommend them, because they're a nice bunch in there, and they'll certainly help you out if you're looking to do a test ride. There's quite a few demo bikes available, and at the minute there's quite a few KTMs that have got offers on, and this 690 SMC is one of those. I think currently there's £1,000 off the book price for this, so it takes it from, I don't know, I think it's 9.5 to 8.5, so it's quite a big saving. I don't think that transfers to the Enduro, but certainly the SMC model is one that they have got this deal on, so if you're interested, head over to there. But anyway, I'll meet you at the garage. Back from the test ride, as expected, loads and loads of fun. Let me know in the comments what you think about it. It's plain to see what I think about it, so yeah, I think that's going to do me today. I'm going to pass the keys over and sadly walk out without it. Sad face. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, it means the absolute world to me, keeps the channel growing, and it keeps places like Wigan KTM inviting me back to do more reviews like this, so it is a massive help. So if you wouldn't mind, hit that button. Cheers guys, catch you on the next one.